report says we are at stage 8, paragraph page 630. Okay, here we go. And our last head word was transitive, new word type of lesson. Okay, so let's start with our revision. Ready?
Okay.
Okay, let me just scroll down. Here we go. First question. When do we use the relative pronoun what? When do we use the relative pronoun what? We
We
use the
use
relative
the
pronoun what?
relative pronoun
When we
what
don't
when we
mention the
don't
thing
mention the
that the
thing
relative
that the
clause
relative clause
describes.
describes.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. He told the waiter
He told the
what she
waiter what
wanted.
she wanted.
When you were a child, did you always like what you were given for your birthday? When you were a child, did you always like what you were given for your birthday? Yes or no?
No,
When I was a
when
child,
I was a
I
child,
didn't
I
always
didn't
like
always
what
like
I was
what
given
I was
for my
given
birthday.
for my birthday.
Wait, have you already chosen what you're going to eat this evening? Have you already chosen what you're going to eat this evening? Yes or no?
No,
I haven't
I
chosen
haven't
what
chosen
I'm
what
going to
I'm
eat
going
this
to eat
evening.
this evening.
Very good. Okay, when do some people prefer to use the relative pronoun whom instead of who? When do some people prefer to use the relative pronoun whom instead of who? Some people
Some
prefer
people
to use
prefer
the
to use
relative
the
pronoun
relative
whom
pronoun whom
instead of who
instead of
with
who
formal
with
English
form of
when
English
the relative
when the
pronoun
relative
is not
pronoun
the
is
subject
not
of the
the
verb
subject
that
of the
follows.
verb that follows.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. The gentleman
The
whom he
gentleman whom
informed
he
was the
informed
manager.
that was the manager.
If you were employed by someone whom you dislike, what would you do? If you were employed by someone whom you dislike, what would you do? If I was
If I
employed
was
by
employed
someone whom
by
I
someone
dislike,
whom I dislike,
I'd
I continue employ them.
very good. When we have a preposition at the beginning of a relative clause, can we follow the preposition with the word who? When we have a preposition at the beginning of a relative clause, can we follow the preposition with the word who? No. When we
No,
have a
when we have
preposition
a
at
preposition
the beginning
at
of
the
a relative
beginning of
clause,
a relative
we
clause,
cannot follow
we
the
cannot follow
preposition
the
with
preposition
who.
with
We must
who.
use whom.
We must use whom.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. We need to
We
contact
need
the
to
customer
contact
from
to
whom
customer
she took
from
the
whom
payment.
she took the payment.
Very good. Do you know the nationality of all the students with whom you are studying at the moment? Do you know the nationality of all the students with whom you are studying at the moment? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
know the
know
nationality
the
of all the
nationality of
students
all the
with whom
students
I
with
am
whom
studying
I
at
am
the moment.
studying at the moment.
Very good. In normal spoken English, what do we say instead of we need to contact the customer from whom she took the payment? In normal spoken English, what do we say instead of we need to contact the customer from whom she took the payment? In normal
In
spoken
normal
English,
spoken
instead
English,
of we
instead
need to
of we
contact
need
the
to contact
customer
a customer
from whom she took
from
the
whom
payment,
she took the
we
payment,
say we
we
need to
say we
contact
need to
the
contact
customer
a customer
who she took
who
the
she
payment
took
from.
the payment from.
Very good. When do we use the word whose at the beginning of a relative clause? When do we use the word whose at the beginning of a relative clause? We use
We
the
use
word
the
whose
word
at the beginning
whose at the
of a
beginning
relative
of
clause
a relative
instead
clause
of
instead
using
of
a
using
possessive
a
adjective, possessive adjective
possessive
like
adjective
my,
like
your,
mine,
his,
your,
etc.
his, etc.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. The woman
A
whose
woman
handbag was
whose handbag
stolen
was
is
stolen
on her
is
way to
on
the
her
police
way to the
station.
police station.
Do you know the people whose house is next to yours? Do you know the people whose house is next to yours? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
know the
know
people
the
whose
people
house is
whose
next
house
to mine.
is next to mine.
Very good. Why do the police use dogs when they are searching for a criminal? Why do the police use dogs when they are searching for a criminal? The police
The
use
police
dogs. You
searching.
know, the police
The
use
police
dogs.
is
Use dogs.
use clocks.
Dogs like very good.
Dogs.
One more. The police
The
use
police
dogs
use dogs
when they are
when
searching
they are
for a
searching
criminal.
the,
For a criminal,
for a criminal
because dogs
because
Have
Dogs
an
have
excellent
an
smell.
excellent smell.
Very good. Have you ever been searched at an airport? Have you ever been searched at an airport? Yes or no?
No,
I've never
I've
been
never
searched
been
at
searched
an airport.
at an airport.
What supports this ceiling? What supports this ceiling? The walls
The
support
walls
that
to
ceiling.
support the ceiling.
Very good. Do you support any particular football team? Do you support any particular football team? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
support
support
any
any
particular football team.
particular football team.
Very good. What does the idiom "watch your step" mean? What does the idiom "watch your step" mean? The idiom
The
"watch your
idiom
step"
"watch your
means
step"
be
means
careful.
be careful.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. You have to watch
You
your
have to
step.
watch your
When
step
you do
when you
business
do
with
business,
people
when
you know
people
nothing
you
about.
know nothing about.
Very good. Okay, next. If you were caught red-handed stealing something, would you declare yourself innocent before the judge when you appeared in court for your trial? If you were caught red-handed stealing something, would you declare yourself innocent before the judge when you appeared in court for your trial? Yes or no?
No,
If I
if
were caught
I were caught
red-handed stealing
red-handed
something,
stealing
I wouldn't
something,
declare
I will
myself
declare
innocent
myself
before the
innocent
judge
before the
when I
judge
appeared
when
in
I
court
appear
for
in
my
court
trial.
for my trial.
Why not? Why not? Because
Because if I didn't tell the truth, I I'd
I'd be put in
I'd
contempt.
be put in contempt.
Very good. When was the last time your country declared war on another country? When was the last time your country declared war on another country? The last time
The
my
last time
country
my
declared
country
war
declared
on
the war
another country
on another
was
country
about
was about for 80 years
years ago.
ago.
Very good. Do you think it's always wise to declare your future plans to other people? Do you think it's always wise to declare your future plans to other people? Yes or no?
No,
I don't think
I don't
it's
know,
always
think it's
wise
always
to
right
declare
to
your future
declare your
plans
future
to
plans
other people.
to other people
Why not? Why not?
because it's
Because
it's private things.
it's a private thing. Very good. Okay, next. What do we call the three classes into which many societies in the world are divided? What do we call the three classes into which many societies in the world are divided? We call the
We
three
call the
classes
three
into which
classes into
many
which
societies
many
in the world
societies in the
are
world
divided:
are
the
divided:
upper class,
the upper
the middle
class,
class,
the middle
and
class,
working class.
and working class.
Wait, what do we mean when we say that someone is upper class? What do we mean when we say that someone is upper class? When we say that
We
someone
say that
is upper
someone
class,
is upper
we mean
class,
that
it will
they
mean that
are very
they
rich
are very
or
rich
have a lot
or
of
have
power
a lot of
in
power
society.
in society.
In writing, what do we mean by uppercase and lowercase letters? In writing, what do we mean by uppercase and lowercase letters? In writing,
In
by
writing,
uppercase
by
and
uppercase
lowercase
and
letters,
lowercase
we mean
letters,
capital
we mean
letters
capital
and
letters
small letters.
and small letters.
Very good. Is this the upper part of my head? Is this the upper part of my head? No,
No,
that
it
isn't
that isn't
the upper
up
part
the upper
of your
part
head.
of your
It's
head.
the lower part
It's the lower
of your
part
head.
of your head.
Very good. How is it sometimes possible for a shop to make more profit if it lowers the prices of its goods? How is it sometimes possible for a shop to make more profit if it lowers the prices of its goods? It's sometimes
It's
possible
sometimes
for a
possible
shop
for
to
a
make
shop
more
to
profit
make more
if
profit
it
if
lowers the
it lowers
prices
the
of
prices
its goods
of its goods
because a lot
because
more
a lot
people
of more people
decide to buy
decided
its
to
goods.
buy its goods.
Very good. What's another word we can use instead of lift? What's another word we can use instead of lift? Another word we
Another
can
words
use
we can
instead
use
of lift
instead of
is raise.
live is raise.
Very good. What does it generally mean when a pupil raises their hand in the air during a lesson? What does it generally mean when a pupil raises their hand in the air during a lesson? When a pupil
When the
raises
pupil
their hand
raises their
in
hand
the air
in the
during a
air
lesson,
during the
it
lesson,
generally
it
means
generally
they
means
want to
they
ask a
want
question
to ask a
or to
question
be
or
excused.
to be
That
excused,
is,
that
to be
is
given
to be
permission
given for
to leave the
permission
room.
to leave the room.
Very good. Which do you think are more expensive to raise, children or race horses? Which do you think are more expensive to raise, children or race horses? I think
I think
are
children
more
are
expensive
more
to raise
expensive to
than race
raise than
horses.
race horses
Why? Why do you think so? Because
because
why do you think children are more expensive? Because
children need
needs education.
education cost.
Very good. If you were a great person, what kind of monument would you like the public to raise in your honor after you were dead? If you're a great person, what kind of monument would you like the public to raise in your honor after you were dead? If I were a great
If
person,
I were a great
the
person,
kind of
the
monument
kind of a
I'd like the
monument
public
I
to
direct to
raise
the
in my
public to
honor
raise in my
after I
honor
was dead
after I was
would be
dead
a statue.
would be a statue.
Very good. What's the difference between a transitive verb and an intransitive verb? What's the difference between a transitive verb and an intransitive verb? The difference
The
between
difference
a
between
transitive
a
verb
transitive
and
verb
an
and an
intransitive verb
intransitive verb
is that a
is that
transitive
a
verb
transitive
has
verb
an object,
as an object,
whereas an
whereas
intransitive
an
verb, intransitive verb
intransitive verb
does not have an
does not
object.
have an object.
What's the difference between the verbs to raise and to rise? What's the difference between the verbs to raise and to rise? The
The
difference between
difference
the
between the
verbs to
verb to
raise and to
raise
rise
and to
is
rise
that to
is that
raise
to
is
raise is
transitive,
a transitive,
whereas to
whereas
rise
to
is
rise
intransitive.
is intransitive.
Give me some examples containing transitive verbs. Give me some examples containing transitive verbs, please. The car hit
The
the
car
wall.
is the verb,
Hit the wall.
it's the verb.
Like hit, not eat. The
He
car
hit
hit the
the
wall.
car hit the verb.
The boy cut
The
his
boy
thumb.
cut his tongue.
They pushed the table.
They push the
He
table.
opened the door.
They open the door.
Greg, now give me some sentences containing intransitive verbs. Give me some sentences containing intransitive verbs, please. The sun
The
rises
sun
at six
rises
o'clock.
at 6 o'clock.
He gets up
He
very
gets
early
up
in the morning.
very early in the morning.
People walk very
People walk
quickly in
very
winter.
quickly in winter.
The door opened.
The door opened.
Greg, is the object of a transitive verb always stated? Is the object of a transitive verb always stated? No. The
No,
object of
the
a
object
transitive
of
verb
a transitive
isn't
verb
always stated.
isn't always stated.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. He ate quickly.
He ate quickly.
Very good. Okay, so that's the end of our revision. Let's have new work. Okay, repeat. Respect,
Respect.
scorn,
Scorn.
worthy.
Worthy.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word respect is a noun. It is a feeling that someone or something that is good, valuable, important, etc. Scorn is a noun. It is a feeling that somebody or something is not worthy of our respect. Worthy is an adjective. If someone is worthy of respect, it means that he or she ought to have it. Let's practice. Do you think it's more important for managers to have the respect of employees or to be liked by employees? Do you think it's more important for managers to have the respect of employees or to be liked by employees? I think it's
I
more
think it's
important
more
for
important
managers
for managers to respect,
to have the respect
to have the
of
respect of
employees than
employees
to be liked
than
by
to be liked
employees.
by employees.
What is scorn? What is scorn? Scorn
The
is a
scorn
feeling
is a
that
feeling
somebody
that
or something
somebody or
is not
something
worthy
is not
of
worthy
our respect.
of our respect.
Very good. Next, repeat. Term.
Term.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word term is a noun. It means one of the periods into which a year is divided at school, college, or university. For example, we are in the second school term at the moment. Yeah, let's practice. Which school term are children in at the moment? Which school term are children in at the moment? Children are in
Children
the
are in the third term
at the moment.
at the moment.
Very good. Next, repeat. Worship.
Worship.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word worship is a verb. It means to show respect and love for God or for a good or for a God, especially by praying, having religious services, etc. For example, people go to worship in a church, mosque, synagogue, temple, etc. Let's practice. Where do people go to worship? Where do people go to worship? People go to
The
worship
people go to
in a
worship
church,
in a
mosque,
church,
synagogue,
mosque,
temple,
synagogue,
etc.
temple, etc.
Very good. Next, repeat. Cattle.
Tagore,
More. Cattle.
cattle,
Cowboy.
cowboy,
Very good. Okay, listen. Cattle is a noun. It means cows, bulls that are kept on a farm. For example, his family used to raise cattle. Cowboy is a noun. It is a man who rides a horse and whose job is to take care of cows or horses, especially in the western US. For example, he worked for several years as a cowboy on a ranch in Texas. Let's practice. How does a cowboy keep his cattle together? How does a cowboy keep his cattle together? A cowboy
a
keeps
cowboy
his cattle
keep
together
his cattle
by
together
constantly
by
riding
constantly
around them
riding around
on a
them
horse or
on a horse
motorbike.
or a motorbike.
Very good. Next, repeat harvest.
Harvest,
Very good. Okay, listen. The word harvest is a noun. It is the season when crops are gathered from the field or the activity of gathering crops. For example, farmers gather their crops at harvest time. Let's practice. What happens at harvest time? What happens at harvest time? Farmers gather
farmers
their crops
gather their
at
crops
harvest time.
at a harvest time.
Very good. Next, repeat mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law,
Father-in-law.
father-in-law,
Very good. Okay, listen. Mother-in-law is a noun. It is the mother of your husband or wife. Father-in-law is a noun. It is the father of your husband or wife. Let's practice. When a man is married, what does he call his wife's mother and father? When a man is married, what does he call his wife's mother and father? When a man is
when
married,
a man is
he
married,
calls his
he
wife's
calls his
mother and
wife's
father
mother and
his
father his
mother-in-law
mother-in-law
and
and
father-in-law.
father-in-law,
What's a brother-in-law? What's a brother-in-law? A brother-in-law
a
is
brother-in-law
the brother
is
of
a
our
brother
wife
of
or
our
husband,
wife or a husband,
or the husband of our brother or
or,
sister, or the husband
or the
of
husband
our brother
of
or
our
sister.
brother or sister.
What's the plural of brother-in-law? What's the plural of brother-in-law? The
The
plural of
plural of
brother-in-law is
brother-in-law is a
brothers-in-law.
brothers-in-law.
Very good. Next, repeat rail,
Railroad,
railing,
Danish,
run,
long,
protection,
protection,
balcony.
balcony.
Very good. Okay, listen. A rail is a piece of metal or wood which is long and thin. For example, a train runs on rails, which is why we call it a railway train. Let's practice. What's a rail? What's a rail? A rail
A
is a
rail
piece of
is a
metal
piece of
or wood
metal
which is
wood,
long and
which
thin
is round in things
and thin.
and things.
Why do we call a train a railway train? Why do we call a train a railway train? We call a
We
train
call a
a
train
railway
a
train
railway train
because it runs
because
on
it
rails.
runs on rails.
Very good. Okay. Railings are several pieces of metal or wood which we put around things for protection. We find railings on a balcony to stop people from falling, or sometimes around a piece of private land to stop people from entering. The word balcony is a noun. It is a raised platform that is connected to the side of a building and surrounded by a low wall or railing. Balcony also means like terrace. Let's practice. What are railings? What are railings? Railings are
Railings
several
are
pieces of
several
wood
pieces
or
of
metal
wood or a metal
which we put
which
around
we
things
put around
for
things
protection.
for protection.
Very good. Where do we find railings? Where do we find railings? We find
We
railings
find
on a
railings
balcony
or a
to stop
balcony
people
to
falling,
stop people falling,
or sometimes
or
around a
sometimes
piece of
around as a
private
piece
land
of a private
to
ground
stop people from
to stop
entering.
people from entering.
Very good. Okay, now let's have idiom 17, to be on about.
To be on about.
Very good. Okay, listen. To be on about means to mean, like what you mean. For example, what's he on about? I can't understand what he's trying to say. Like, what does he mean? Okay, let's practice. What's the meaning of the idiom to be on about? What's the meaning of the idiom to be on about? The meaning. of
The
the
meaning of
idiom
the
to
idiom
be on
to
about
be on about
is to mean.
is to mean.
Very good. Give me an example. Give me an example, please. I tried to
I
explain
try to
what the
explain
problem
what
was,
the problem
but
was,
I don't think
but
he
I don't
understood
think he
what
understood
I was on about.
what I was on about.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to reading. Okay, so our reading is at stage 7, paragraph page 525, and the last headword was taste. Okay, please start at page 526. Write entirely.
Right, entirely. What's the time right now? The time right now is 10:20